Glacier viewing is an iconic part of an Alaskan cruise. In this video, we will compare Glacier Bay and Hubbard Glacier, so you will be able to select the best cruise for you.
Hi y'all, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Becky.
And together we're a cruising good time.
So we're going to start this video by talking about the most famous of the two, Glacier Bay. So Glacier Bay is a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve, a national park, and a national monument.
Glacier Bay is really wonderful. It's a very, very large bay. You're in it all day long. The ship usually enters at about 6:30 in the morning, and it's there all the way to about 6 or 6:30 that evening. You'll pass 7 or 8 glaciers up in there. A lot of wildlife, a lot of fun. I think the highlights when you get all the way at the very deepest part of it, and you have the Grand Pacific Glacier and Margerie Glacier right there next to each other. And the ship gets in there and just kind of does some 360s so everybody can see something.
Yeah, they make sure that no matter where you are on the ship, that you will be able to get a good view of the glacier. Margerie Glacier is the more beautiful of the two. It's the one that has all those amazing shades of blue. And just a few facts about Margerie Glacier. It's about 21 miles long. It's about 1 mile wide there at the terminus. It's 250 feet above the water line and say maybe another 100 feet below the water line. And it moves 6 feet per day, which is actually very quick moving for a glacier.
Grand Pacific Glacier is also a very large glacier. It's just hard to see because as it comes down the hill, all the rocks tumble on top of it and whatnot. So it looks more like just dirt out there. It's like a meter of dirt thick on there. But it's a glacier there nonetheless. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And like Becky said, the neat thing about it is it doesn't matter where you're at on the ship because the captain will put that ship and they'll just make the ship spin around like 2, maybe even 3 times right there. So every cabin has a view of both glaciers and everything else. It's really a lot to take in.
The two glaciers are almost perpendicular to each other, and then there's some moraine between them. So it's really kind of neat from a geological perspective as well.
Very nice. And then on the way out, there's a little side inlet coming out of Glacier Bay, and that's where Johns Hopkins Glacier is, way down at the end there. You can't get very far down in there because of the seals and sea otters and whatnot, but you can still see it even though it's a mile or 2 away. And what's amazing is the mountain behind it's like 12 or 13,000 feet tall. So it gives you perspective of just how huge all the scenery is right there in that part of Alaska. It's really kind of amazing.
We've also really enjoyed seeing some of the wildlife. So there will be seals in Glacier Bay. They are hard to spot because you're so far up, and sometimes they'll be like out there kind of sunning on top of one of the icebergs. Yep. So that I enjoyed that. And when you're going out of Glacier Bays, a countless amount of otters will be by the ship.
Those otters were all over the place, and they're just really fun to sit there and watch. And they'd lay on their little back and then suddenly dive down in there and kind of riding the wake of the ship as it came by. They're out there having a good time with the cruise ship coming by.
Yeah, that was one of the things we enjoyed during the day. Since it's a national park, they will also have park rangers come on board, and they'll be there giving a lecture throughout the day. It's pretty incredible. They'll spend time with the kids. Our children really enjoyed the kids program and the rangers coming on when they were a junior high age.
There's only 6 cruise lines that are permitted to cruise into Glacier Bay, and there's only 2 ships per day that get to go into Glacier Bay. So it is harder to find a Glacier Bay tour. Make sure you take account of that whenever you're picking your itinerary.
Yeah, and some folks may choose to not do Glacier Bay just because they'd prefer a different cruise line. So there's one more thing to consider. If you're one of those folks who get FOMO, you may want to go to Glacier Bay, as if you've done Alaskan cruise, your friends will ask you if you've been to Glacier Bay.
So by contrast to Glacier Bay is Hubbard Glacier, which is a single glacier. It's huge. It's like 5-6 miles wide at the tidewater level. It is the largest tidewater glacier in North America. Goes back 76 miles, but what's really unique about it is that it's advancing very quickly, but also growing. It's getting thicker, so it's a very active glacier. It also has a nickname, the Galloping Glacier, because it is advancing. It's rare in that sense that the glacier is advancing. It's advanced so much in the past, sometimes it'll seal off an adjacent bay, kind of form a little freshwater lake there. It's really a unique experience with all the blues and the colors and the cracking and popping you hear. It's a very active glacier.
Yeah, it is so huge. It's about 400 feet above the waterline. That's like 40 stories. It's enormous. Yeah, it is a very exciting day. It's just breathtakingly beautiful.
So Hubbard Glacier is about a half a day trip instead of a full day trip. It's up at the edge of Disenchantment Bay. And I don't know who gave that bay that name, but what an unfortunate name, right? But within Disenchantment Bay, you go up in there. It's about a half day. Same procedure. You get up there fairly close to the glacier. The captain will pivot the ship around twice. And so we sat in our cabin. We could see it coming by. It's so big. It's got a 180-degree view every time you come around. And you see the bay from the other side or go upside, watch it again from up there. So you get plenty of chances to see it up there, too.
Yeah, and we do enjoy running around the ship and seeing the glacier from different times. And sometimes we've had a bottle of champagne on the balcony for that part when it's around in front of our ship.
Exactly right. There's a lot of seals in Disenchantment Bay, and you can see them on there's so many icebergs out there as it's calving because it's a very active glacier. Those seals will get up on those icebergs in sun and have a good time. So take some binoculars. They're a lot easier to see with binoculars because they're off in a distance pretty far. But if you see a little black mark on top of an iceberg, it could quite possibly be a seal. So watch out for that.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things to consider is that the cruise line will take into account the weather coming in for this glacier. So there's a little bit higher chance that they may cancel due to weather. And they also consider what time of year that they're going to bring the ship in to see it.
One thing I liked about the Hubbard Glacier is when we're leaving the ill-named Disenchantment Bay, you could pass over the boundary where the density and the salinity of the water was different, and it's just a night and day difference in there of where we pass that boundary from into the Gulf of Alaska there as we left the bay. I thought that was really neat to see that.
Seeing where those two colors of water met was quite fascinating.
Yep.
So I absolutely love going to both of these glaciers.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's really a lot of fun. You can't go wrong either way. If you've only done one in the past, next cruise, do the other. I really recommend that. If you're going to do a one and done with Alaska, I'm not really sure which one I would pick. I think the Hubbard Glacier is kind of a little more showboaty. It's so large and active, but the Glacier Bay is just a deep immersion, all-day experience.
Yeah, and if you're one who likes the park rangers and all that expertise, that's pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Very much so, very much so. So can't go wrong either way.
If you're headed to Alaska, we've done many videos that might be useful for you. You can find them on our library at our YouTube channel.
We'll also put links to our Alaska videos and our Seattle and Vancouver embarkation videos down in the description below.
We hope you've enjoyed our video. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or comments. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching.
If you liked the video, give us a like and subscribe, and please turn on those notifications. Like Becky said, leave a comment. It all really helps us out, and we like to engage with our viewers anyway. So please reach out to us if you have any questions, and thanks a lot for watching.
Until next time, have a cruising good time.